Welcome to the Awake and Sober podcast, a podcast about life and recovery through Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Job.
Yeah,
Look
you
at
like
him.
that?
Yeah.
He's such a big boy.
I didn't even need it written down.
Were you a game show host at one time?
I actually went to broadcast school, so
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
My eyes
He was going to once be a big boy.
I was once going to.
I have a face for radio.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right in the camera. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Well, first and foremost, what are we talking about?
Today we're going to be talking about the 5 rules of recovery.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's sweet. There's only 5 of them.
That's it.
We might be able to keep these. We may be able to keep track of all this. That'd be nice.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But first off, I want to say, how's your guys' week? How's everything going?
Go ahead, D.
My week's been doing, something happened, and I don't want to get too deep into it right now, but something that came up and it happened, and it's really not that big of a deal, but to me it actually is. And that because, I just say it, I actually got accepted for a credit card.
Man.
Dude, that's huge.
To me, that is huge.
No, I know.
No.
That's,
I know.
That's
Yeah.
really
I
fantastic.
mean, it was just through my bank and that. It's nothing big, but the fact that I finally got accepted for a credit card, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that's an applause button right there.
Absolutely.
Well, I told you, man, when I was doing the house stuff and I found out what my credit score was, I cried.
Yeah.
I cried because it's taken me a very long
tears?
time. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when a lot of us destroyed our credit,
Oh, yeah, I did.
when we could finally get approved for something, it's pretty nice.
Yes.
Or the thing that we were so caught up in our addiction, we didn't even have credit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, not at all. Yeah.
You know?
I think mine was like, I know it's not even a real number, but like 400 at one point.
Oh, no, that's a real number.
Yeah.
It's real.
Dude, it was like, it might as well be 0.
Yes.
Just
No, a
non-existent.
0 would have actually been better than the 400.
Yeah, zero.
Well, I can
zero's
actually
good.
start.
because you
yeah.
No credit's better
Yeah,
than
no credit,
bad
yeah.
credit.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually, no.
yes, it is. Because you,
really.
as a ghost, you could go out and get a secured card real quick.
As a
and,
ghost?
Yeah, so as a ghost, you don't have any credit. You could get a secured card, and all of a sudden you're at 750. When you're at a 400, now I have to. It's just a big, huge uphill climb. It's such a pain in the butt.
It has been, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Dave Ramsey, you know.
Yeah, I know Dave Ramsey, yes.
But I mean, he's credit is 0, you know. But he's also got the funds that he can actually pay cash for stuff. You know, I'm not there yet, but
Goals.
Oh, I thought you guys were there.
not yet. We're getting there.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah,
Baby steps. How's your week?
baby steps.
Big power.
Man, that concert last night really got me. Like it really, you know, Shane talked about how he got wrecked at church a few weeks ago. I got wrecked at that concert last night, and in a good way, but then today at the service at church, I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I don't mean to bring this up on the podcast, but I'm like,
Hey.
I was like, where does God, I feel like God is really calling me towards the ministry side of things. And it's like, I feel like, and then today at the message, I was like, is this God like saying, hey, you know, knock, knock, knock. Why don't you do this? Like full time, like get into it. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that right now because I can't share my faith at work the way I want to share my faith.
Well, we'll have to have a conversation
We definitely need to have a conversation.
because there's ways to do it. I mean, there's
know.
ways to do it at your work, but God has been opening doors anyway.
I know.
It's just you got to walk your big butt through it.
It's like I just want to scream Jesus at the top of my lungs, and I know, Derek, you could probably relate with me on that, you know. And I can't scream Jesus at the top of my lungs at work, and I know there's ways that people can come to Jesus and see me and actions and all that other stuff, but it's like I don't like being restricted.
I don't blame you. That's why we're going to have a different conversation.
yeah.
It don't have to do with the place that you work now.
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, the same conversations me and Derek have had. There's a reason why you went and got ordained. God has opened some doors. Now we just got to walk our butts through it and have faith.
Yeah.
George Michael again, or the other person that you said.
Limp Biscuit.
Fred Durst.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
I'm lost.
Mr. Shane, how was your week?
Fabulous. This week, I'm sore in places that I didn't know I had, that I could be sore in anymore. After the men's retreat, went golfing. Haven't golfed in 30 years or almost 30 years. And then So swinging that club brought back some things, but then going down and doing this tedious work of stuffing this stuff in cracks and then filling it with other, man, it's been a week. Carrying shovels full of rock all the way to the other end of the building to dump it in the dumpster. I'm like, why are we doing this like this way? There's easier ways, but I thought about it and it's just like, look, some of the things that we have to do to get ready for the next phase has been fun. So I'm excited. I mean, watching the transformation of this building and getting ready to know what's about to happen there in that building, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was able to share what's going on in that building with the guys from the brick house today, and it was really interesting. And they were really excited to hear about it.
Good.
yeah, it's funny because Colby knew nothing about it.
Really?
Yeah, I walked him in. I said, so here's what we're moving into. He's like, what's Reclaiming Hope? I'm like, oh, funny, you should ask. Let me let you know. Yeah. I mean, that's the side of ministry that's so much fun for me. Preaching on the weekends, I don't really care for. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. But the side of ministry of helping people achieve the goal of life change, that's the side of ministry that's fun.
Yes.
So that's been my week. How about you?
Pretty I wouldn't say uneventful. Last week I took a couple days off, and remind me to never take a vacation again. Yeah, that Wednesday when I got back, I got hit in the face with so many things, and taking care of the grounds, taking care of the facilities. I mean, it was literally, I worked 12 and a half hours on Wednesday. It seemed like, I mean, I got there at about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I didn't leave till 6. So it was, I'm never taking a vacation again, even though I did take off in December, but, yeah.
Remember, I almost quit after I came back from vacation.
I mean, it was one of those things. I was like, is this really what I want to do? Like, I mean, I love my job though, so I got back in the swing of things really quickly. But other than that, man, I had a great meeting yesterday. I had a great men's breakfast. Like I said, pretty uneventful, but blessed to have what I have in my life. That's for sure.
Good.
So.
And why do you have those things in your life?
Well, one, I finally started being honest with myself. And two, I got sober. It's crazy.
Did that help?
Duh.
Just wondering.
Yeah. Speaking of, though, we're going to be talking about the 5 rules of recovery today. And these rules are, I would say, incredibly pertinent to recovery. I think all of us would agree.
I think rules are pertinent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's, I'm gonna go off and read the 5 rules, and these are how they have it in order. But we discussed, and I don't think these are the way they should be in order. So number 1 is change your life. Okay. Number 2 is be completely honest. Number 3 is ask for help.
Ooh.
Number 4 is practice self-care.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
And number 5, don't bend the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Don't bend them. You're going to do it. They break them, right?
What'd you say before? Rules are meant to be broke?
Well, I mean, rules are meant to be bent or at least broken. I mean, at least they're meant to be broken or at least bent. But no, they don't need to be. They're there for a reason.
Right.
We need guardrails.
Yes.
100%. So we discussed this a little bit before we started, and we all said that, what did we say was number 1?
Ask for help.
Yep.
Ask for help. Most people start recovery by trying to do it on their own. Been there, done that, didn't work. They want to prove that they have a control over their addiction, and they are not as unhealthy as people think. Delusion?
Denial?
Denial. There it is. Joining a self-help group has been shown to significantly increase the chances of long-term recovery. The combination of a substance abuse program and self-help group is the most effective.
So you're saying I have to go to meetings?
Yeah. Do you want to stay sober?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah.
Depends for how long.
Yeah.
This time.
That's this time. That's good. That is good. Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends how long I want to do it this time. What are some reasons people don't like to go to meetings?
They don't want to talk.
They don't want to talk.
They almost feel like they're obligated to have to talk sometimes.
People bogarting the meeting, maybe.
Bogarting, hijacking.
Hijacking. Yeah.
Bogarting.
I haven't heard Bogart in a while, so that was kind of cool to hear. I'm like, oh,
Don't
He's an 80s child. Think about that. No.
Well, I was born in '89, but I'm a '90s baby.
Oh, 90s baby. Never mind. Yeah, and he
Sorry,
used
guys.
Bogart.
I'm aging you guys all over again.
Whatever. You're only as old as you feel. And I'm about 16.
Shit, I'm at least 60.
So this is funny because last night at the concert they mentioned Mercy Me, the lead singer's like, yeah, we're 48 years old, and I'm like, oh man, they're still young. And I was like, I remember at one point in my life when I was like 48, I'm like, man, you're an old bastard, you know? But now that I'm knocking on 48's door, I'm like, dude, you're young. You still got a lot of life left
So
ahead of
much
you.
left.
yeah, we thought 48. They were getting ready to kick the bucket. Your life's over. What do you got left?
right?
Crawl in that hole and die.
Oh, man.
But I tell
48's
you,
new
after
28.
being on my hands and
right.
knees, stuffing that stuff down, and man, I felt 88.
I hurt
yeah.
for you. I hurt for you.
Man,
No doubt.
my back was killing me. My arms. I woke up and I said, man, it ain't just one elbow.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
both.
man. I slept wrong last night and I got a kink in my neck. It won't go away.
Getting back to asking for help, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go off.
You know, it's you could read about this stuff, you could Google this, but you know, we can be pretty much categorized into two categories in recovery. You got the non-users and the denied users. And the non-users are the ones that are like, yeah, you know what, I have a problem. It was fun, but it wasn't fun at the very end. Right? So they're done. They're ready to change. They're ready to take that next step change in life. Then the denied users are like, maybe someday I'll be able to do this normally. And so I think a lot of the people who are quote unquote dry drunk or quit, cold turkey or white knuckle it, they're the denied users, maybe thinking that one day I can, do this. And a lot of people, as we know, that we've seen, it's like when they hit that anniversary date. It's like, if I do 2 years, or a year, then I'll know. And I mean, how many stories are in the big book about that? It's like, I thought, once I hit this, I know I could quit drinking for a year. And then, gone. You gone.
Or dead these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it usually is. It's unfortunately death. That year mark is dangerous.
I think people need to understand that once you stop drinking, make the life changes, and maybe let's say you go to treatment or you get into the rooms and you stay sober for a little while, people think that, if you go back and have a drink that you're starting back from zero. You're starting back exactly where you left off. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You're using drugs and you're going to try to use the exact same amount that you used to use. Typically, we see ODs and death when it comes to that. Or you're drinking and you stop taking your medicine. You're like, I'm good. 1 turns into 5, turns into 10, turns into 20 really fast. So people need to understand you're not starting at zero. You're starting at exactly where you left off.
Yeah, but the problem is your body is not.
Yeah.
Your body went back and reset, and your body could only handle what it did at the very beginning. But yeah, we're addicts. We got to take everything to an extreme.
To the max.
I'm going to jump out of this plane without a parachute. I'll make it. I'll hit that landing zone.
There you go.
Yep, but you ain't getting up.
No.
I think too, in the same breath as you pick up where you left off when you go back to drinking, you don't lose that sober time that you had.
You don't lose what you've learned.
What you've learned,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that in that 1 year of recovery time, you don't lose that, but you do lose the,
You change your anniversary
change your
date.
anniversary date.
Yeah. For sure.
But that's it. It's an important piece because a lot of people act like, well, this person had 10 years of sobriety. They relapsed and now they're back and they treat them like they don't know anything. Look, man, that person probably knows more than you do.
Yeah.
So you should pay attention of what he has to say about what led to that relapse.
When I was in treatment, I paid attention more to the people that had some time before.
Yep.
And then because that was me. And I'm like, okay, well, what does he have to say? And what is he doing? Because I'm going to do whatever they're doing or not doing,
And that's the thing. Yeah. If they talk about what led to it, then I know what not to do.
Yep.
I'd rather learn from somebody else's mistakes than my own.
Yes.
You know what the number one answer to that usually is, though?
What?
I quit going to meetings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
it's really funny. But since we're talking about recovery and stuff and meeting, and we had the meeting etiquette a couple of weeks back. When I've talked with the people that have come back, and I try to encourage them that you came back, so that's a good start.
Absolutely.
You knew what was going to happen to you, and you came in. You had that muscle memory, as I like to call it, and showed back up to the gym, right? But the real first answer they always give me is, "I quit going to meetings." Oh, what does that say? Meetings do help,
But then I don't want to go to meetings. It's too much work. It takes too much time. I'm too busy.
busy. There we go, busy.
I'm too busy for that.
Yeah, I don't have time for a meeting.
I couldn't find a meeting.
Oh, that's really
Because
fun.
you haven't looked.
No, and I always said, I was like, if you can't find a meeting, you ain't looking very hard.
Not at all.
There's meetings every hour of every single day, online, at clubs, in churches.
A lot of the overnight ones went away with COVID, though.
Yeah, they did.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
So-
They actually started bringing that back to where we have meetings.
But you could still find one on Zoom overnight.
You probably could.
Yeah.
But I don't like Zoom. I don't have the internet.
Who in this world right now does not have internet? Because if you don't have it in your house alone, I bet your neighbor does.
I'm going to just go out and make an assumption that everybody that listens to this has internet.
But I'm taking it from somebody else.
I'm seeing what you're putting down.
But that's a lot of people. We always have a good excuse.
Oh man.
Well, and my thing is, it says in the big book, all you need for a meeting is two people in a book
And desire.
and desire. That's it. So
Look at Derek.
Yeah, I've been going to a few AA
Where's
meetings.
where's this guy coming from?
I think there was another individual that said that too, about 2,000 years ago. Wherever two or more are gathered, there I am in the midst of them. So there's something about this community and being together.
And two.
I know.
Now, I was kind of disappointed when I went to California when I lived out there for a short time because I'd go there and they'd cancel meetings if there wasn't enough people. I'm like, wait, there's two of us here. There's actually four of us. Why are we canceling anything? I need a meeting.
Yeah.
that's
Then I came home. I came home because I know I was about to use.
It's in terms like California sober.
Yeah.
Right? It's California. What do you expect?
I expect them to be hippie-ish and loving and hugging and saying, yes, let's have a meeting. There's one and a half of us here.
It depends on what part of California you're living in.
Yeah, I was in Northern.
Yeah, see, no.
What else you got, Mike?
rules are don't go to Northern California. So when it's saying ask for help, we want to talk about some self-help groups, and there is a long list of self-help groups. There's AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. There's NA, Narcotics Anonymous. There's MA, Marijuana Anonymous. CA is Cocaine Anonymous. GA is Gamblers Anonymous. And Adult Children of Alcoholics, or ACA. Every country, every town, and almost every cruise ship. Hear that again. You're going on a cruise. Every cruise ship has a 12-step meeting. There are other self-help groups, including Women for Sobriety, secular organizations for sobriety, Smart Recovery, caduceus groups for health professionals. It has been shown that the way to get the most out of 12-step programs is to attend meetings regularly.
How often?
Regularly.
Okay.
Have a sponsor, read 12-step materials, and have a goal of abstinence.
Wait, what?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Where'd that article come from? That wasn't Samsha then.
No, it was not.
That was not Samsha.
No, it's not.
I like this one better.
I bet.
The goal of abstinence.
Yes.
So, cutting to the next rule.
You know what I do?
Hang on. Yeah, because
Yeah. Whoa, Turbo.
yeah,
What were you guys saying?
because we have Celebrate Recovery. Let's go to the Christ-centered side because we talk a lot of secular stuff. But let me tell you, when you get Jesus mixed in with your recovery, I just think it's a little bit better. Hate to say it.
So there was a group in New York that I attended a few times called Alcoholics Victorious, and it was a Christ-centered AA meeting type thing. Now, I haven't seen any of those around here or heard of any around here, but it was a group up there.
Yeah, there's a couple other Christ-centered recovery groups, just not well known. Celebrate Recovery is your most well known one, but there are a lot of them. So if you're looking for something that includes Jesus in it, Christ-centered, then look online and you can just Google Christ-centered recovery groups and they'll pop up.
Yes. And I like how you hit on the cruise ship part of it, because I blew the guys' minds the other day in the in my transitional living house. If you ever go to an airport and you're there for an extended period of time, just pay attention.
I love this.
Just pay attention, because you're going to hear somebody say over the intercom, "Friends of Bill W. If there's anybody here who's a friend of Bill W., please come to gate such and such." And what that is
I've never heard it.
I never known
pay
that.
attention. Yeah, because you're not paying attention. Pay attention next time you go.
Enough.
Well, I know you don't find it's true if you don't.
I ain't never been on a plane, man.
So every flight attendant knows this, and so you just walk up. So if you don't want to drink, right, because that's what a lot of people do at airports, just go up to the attendant and say, "Hey, can you ask for a friend of Bill W. to come meet me here?" And you'll have several people that just pop right on in.
So I mean, anything that mentioned with Bill W. sticks out, and so I always look for it. And I've never heard it yet, and I've flown a lot, but I think it'd be cool when I finally do hear it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll take a trip up to the gate.
I mean, now I'm gonna go to the airport and just wait. I want to hear it said. I want to know.
You can't get in there anymore.
Now, here's the thing: is we know you got approved for a credit card, but can you get approved to get past security at the airport?
Oh, I've done that when I picked my daughters up, so I know I could get to the gate.
We're golden. We're golden, baby. We're good to go.
Hey, man, we're just here to go help people struggling with addiction. That's why we're here. That's why we need to get back there. We don't have any boarding passes. Just let us back.
That's it.
We need to go be
We're friends of Bill W. We want to hang out, you know.
We should go do a remote spot at the airport.
Right?
Can we do a podcast here?
All right, moving on.
That would be interesting.
Wouldn't it?
It would.
Okay, so we had number 1 was ask for help. I think number 2 we talked about be totally honest.
Rigorous honesty?
Rigorous honesty.
Complete honesty.
You could go with complete. I like rigorous better.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever
Rigorous
floats your
sounds
boat.
more.
Is there such a thing as being honest to a fault?
Too honest?
Yeah,
Yes.
too honest.
Yes.
Oh, explain.
Okay, so I'm part of the NPRA. I've talked about it a couple times, and that's basically people trying to help other people in the workplace as far as certified peers specialists go. And this prospectus CPS,
Prospectus.
Yeah, is that like a different type of CPS? I mean, what do we got here?
she wants to be a CPS.
Okay.
Prospectus.
I hope we got that.
Oh, prospect. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a prospect to be a CPS. You guys are great. And so when she contacted me, because my job or my role in that program is to kind of guide people into the CPS program as far as like getting the paperwork filled out, getting the application and all that stuff done. And I never asked, but this person would tell me their life story almost on a daily basis, to where it sounded like, okay, I appreciate the fact that you have this amount of sober time and you're doing all this stuff. I don't need to hear about, the trauma or the nitty gritty details, especially if we've never met in person and I really don't know who you are. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So immediately it was almost a turnoff, and we as a group, as a board, said it might be better if you get a little bit more help before you go into this role, in the kindest way possible. Because yes, as CPSs, do we use our story? Of course, that's our number 1 tool. But there's a way to go about telling your story and a time to be that vulnerable and honest. And that was just very, very off-putting.
But that wouldn't be really honest to a fault. That's just not knowing boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's
To a
two
fault that
separate.
you're not being well.
But I don't think you
joined
could
in.
ever be too honest or be honest to a fault. But I think there's a time to speak and a time to shut up.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I was just thinking about step 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. And so I can't be, there's some things I'm not going to
Tell somebody?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to confide in somebody else with that, because if I hold on to that, that's a bad thing.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't mean being too, there is not such a thing as being too honest. It's just being honest to the right person at the appropriate time.
Now that we should always know.
Right.
Yeah.
We should strive for that. Yeah.
But we're not gonna hold back truth.
Correct.
But we need to give truth and love. And so and that's a hard thing to learn, Because it's like, man, I'm going to be truthful. Well, you're being a dick. You're not being truthful. There's a difference.
Is an omission of the truth a lie?
Yes.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly, yes.
100%. Yes.
I agree.
We talked about this one time. Well, she didn't know I was drinking. I didn't lie. She just never asked.
Oh, you lied.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's you were hiding it. You were lying. So
If you got to hit the delete button,
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure Shane has probably used this in some shape or form, or you too, Derek, or Mike.
That's me.
But when I'll tell new clients, you can tell me what you want to tell me, and if you're lying to me, I don't care, because you're only hurting yourself.
yeah,
Because I mean, lie to me, okay, I don't know any different, because I don't know you from Adam. But if you're holding something back and you're trying to get one over on me, shame on you.
So back to that lying type thing, and working, because we preach working honest program, right? When we're doing the PSAs and that one question, have you, the SRA question, have you ever, had the thought of going to sleep and never waking up, or just thought this place would be a better place without you? Everybody was like, no, I've never had that problem. Okay, are we going to work an honest program here?
yeah.
Start off with this one. Have you ever had that thought? Well, maybe once, but okay, thank you for being honest. Now we start working your program.
Yeah.
and then those situations, people are afraid of what's going to happen.
Right.
I admit to that. Now they're going to commit me. They're going to send me over to the hospital. I get why some people in certain situations might do it, and they're so used to lying still.
Yes, true.
They're not used to being honest.
Yep.
I mean, not an excuse for them, but think about where they're coming from.
I get that part, but at the same time,
But we got to tell them, hey, look, I'm not going to send you to a hospital. We just
Right.
need this.
right.
Because otherwise, I'm thinking you're going to send me to a padded room, give me a booty dart, and I'm in.
My thing is, I tell them, I'm not going to hold this against you. I just, if we're going to work it out this program, let's work it out this program. We start right here, right now.
I'm going to hold it against you. I'm just not going to tell you. Oh, wait, that's dishonesty. My
That's
bad.
dishonesty. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've had that thought before, so that's the only reason why I'm calling them out, to be honest. Because to be honest, I've had that thought in my addiction.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so
I think the honesty part, it comes from surrounding yourself with the right people. A counselor, a therapist, your support group. Whether they be recovery meetings, Celebrate Recovery, AA, and just like having mentorship along the way.
Yes.
Because I look, with Youth Creek guys, I have mentorship and I have friendship, and I know that if I ever needed anything, you guys would come. After I called Shane 5 times in a row until he answered the phone. But
You never have to call me 5 times. If my phone starts ringing that many times, I'm in
Something's
there.
up.
but I know you guys will be there.
Yep.
So I don't have to fear that, and I think that's what comes from working, like Derek said, working an honest program and just being honest with some people that you can trust.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's going to change until you get honest.
Correct.
I mean, when we ask for help, that's one thing. But now we got to get honest. If we don't get honest and we keep living in lies, we're never going to stop using whatever that is.
So when you guys meet with individuals at work, did you guys when they would say, "Oh, I only did so much"? Did you ever in your head? I'm gonna say you said it to them, but okay, so you say you drink a pint a day, so 3 of them.
When somebody comes in and says they only drink a pint a day, I'm like, you wouldn't be here if you were only drinking a pint a day.
Yeah.
Right.
How many times a day are you drinking that pint?
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, drinking 1 pint should lead you there. I get what you're saying, but I mean, drinking a pint a day is still, your life is probably unmanageable.
Right.
I mean, you could do 2 airplane bottles a day and your life could be very unmanageable.
I'm not denying that, but I would say that the majority of the people that come into the treatment center
Right.
don't look like they're only drinking 2 airplane shots a day.
Right?
They come in
But
smelling like alcohol, sweating.
I mean, a pint's quite a bit. You put a pint in the wrong person, and I mean,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would fill up my pinky finger.
A pint to me.
well, it's
would
because
be out. I'd be passed out.
you're not a little boy, but you are a big boy with a little head.
I am.
Little guys with big heads.
yeah. Bonk.
Bunk.
So I want to read this. Addiction requires lying. Addicts must lie about getting their drug, hiding the drug, denying the consequences, and planning their next relapse. Eventually, addicted individuals end up lying to themselves. Clinical experience shows that when clients feel they cannot be completely honest, it is a sign of emotional relapse. It is often said that recovering individuals are as sick as their secrets. One of the challenges of therapy is to help clients practice telling the truth and practice admitting when they have misspoken and quickly correcting it. How honest should a person be without jeopardizing his or her work or relationships? Clients are encouraged to understand the concept of a recovery circle. This is a group of people that includes family, doctors, counselors, self-help groups, and sponsors. Individuals are encouraged to be completely honest within their recovery circle. As clients feel more comfortable, they may choose to expand the size of their circle.
I remember you said that to me back in the beginning of my recovery, that I need to make my circle of the good, right people bigger.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
There's certain circles you have to make smaller.
Right.
And that's when trouble is around, right? So we want to keep certain circles really small, but yes, your circle needs to be as big as you could get it.
Yeah.
There's different rings.
Yeah.
Different rings of the circle for sure.
One ring to rule them all, though.
Always.
All right. Where are we at? So moving right along. Like
Moving right
Going to number
along.
3,
yeah.
practicing self-care.
Yes.
What is self-care, though?
It's funny you ask. To understand the importance of self-care, it helps to understand why why most people use drugs and alcohol. Most people use to escape, relax, or reward themselves. These are the primary benefits of using. It helps to acknowledge these benefits in therapy so that individuals can understand the importance of self-care and be motivated to find healthy alternatives. Despite its importance, self-care is one of the most overlooked aspects of recovery. Without it, individuals can go to self-help meetings, have a sponsor, do step work, and still relapse. Self-care is difficult because recovering individuals tend to be hard on themselves. This can present overtly as individuals who don't feel they deserve to be good to themselves or who tend to put themselves last. Or it can show up covertly as individuals who say they can be good to themselves but who are actually ruthlessly critical of themselves. Self-care is especially difficult for adult children of addicts.
I have a question.
There's more.
Do you really?
Were you guys drinking or using to relax or reward yourself at the end?
No.
No.
At the end, no, but I would say that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked my butt off all week. I got the right.
That was my justification
At the
to
beginning,
people.
yeah.
No. I'm talking about later even. That was my justification
okay.
to others of why, hey, look, I know I'm only going to drink on the weekends, but man, today was a really good day. I think I deserve this. Or it was a really bad day. I really need this to relax. So we used that as justification at the end, or at least I did. But it wouldn't do any of it. I just wanted to get messed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think one of the
The sun came out. I was getting messed up.
Yeah,
so
I
it-
get
good.
if I woke up, it was reason enough to celebrate. Right?
That's not what everybody else said.
I didn't die. Let's do this again. All right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's where I was at. But I think that like the number one big thing of self care is being able to take time for self. I've come to recognize that a lot of times, a lot of addicts and a lot of alcoholics are using because that's about the only time that they actually have for themselves. They're running, doing things for their family, doing things at work, too busy for anything else. But that moment they feel they could pop open the top and do their thing, that's that time they had for self. Nobody's taking out those few minutes out of the day for prayer, journaling, whatever it is we got to do for self. And I feel that's a really big point is having self time for self.
Yeah,
You're
I think
allowed to have that, people.
it's okay. It is totally okay. I think a lot of what you're saying too is when we are in active use and whatnot, how often do our lives feel like they're in control? Like we are in control of our emotions, of our thoughts, of our actions.
All the time.
Yeah. That's why I thought. That's why I drank.
Because you were in control.
Because it gave me
Yeah.
control.
I just show you how much control I'm in.
What I'm saying is that is one thing that you can control in your life. I can control how much I'm putting into my body. I can control
Or so you think that anyways.
which is something that's it's a false flag. It's like,
Right.
okay, I can do this, I can control this. When in reality, you thinking you could control that just obliterates everything else.
I wasn't in control is what you're trying to say?
No, you were not.
That really must be hard for people with control issues.
Yeah.
That's why codependents don't get in for addiction right away. They realize it later.
Yeah, right.
And our addicts realize the codependency later. So it just all interweaves.
And I love that it talks about, self-care is especially difficult for adult children of
Yeah.
addicts.
Yep.
I know quite a few, and I'm talking to one right now, and yeah, it's
But self-care, where does
tough.
self-care really start? I mean, taking a shower, brushing your teeth.
Yeah, hygiene, without a doubt.
I was never, I never got to the point in my addiction where I didn't shower. Like I've always been a freak about showers. I'll even shower a couple times a day.
Yeah.
I always, on the outside, it looked like I had my stuff together.
At least to you on the outside.
At least to me.
Way. Yeah.
I was never disheveled or but it was, I could talked about this before. I had a membership to a car wash, and my old car, I would go through almost every day with that thing. But when you open up the doors to that, whoo. It was you're like, what died in here? It was like, it was bad. And like Amy always used to tell me, that's how you are in your addiction. This is what everybody sees, but on the inside, you are just
Stinky.
rotten.
rotten.
It was bad.
Yes.
But it does. It starts with taking care of ourselves.
Yes.
In one way or another. I mean, we haven't been to the doctor and had a physical. We haven't done any of these things. But my favorite piece is just journaling. That's what has saved me, is truly journaling. That's my self-care. I was in the middle of worship today. And what I do, I grabbed a pen and paper and just started writing again. I seem to write more during the music part, what people would consider worship part. I journal more then than any time else. I just turn it on and go.
One of the things I like to teach, though, worship's not just that time you're standing up singing. And a lot of people like to think
I
that.
know.
but
That's why I said what I said.
yes.
That's the corporate
The part
worship.
that people would consider worship. Worship is, yes, we worship God all day long.
All day, every day.
If we're in an act of worship throughout the day, then that means that we're loving others, we're taking care of people, we're taking care of ourselves, we're just handling business. But during the part that people would think, the music, that worship part,
They even name it worship. A lot of
In the
churches,
paper.
they say worship.
yeah. So to me, journaling.
Yes.
And then we have the best sponsor to me in the world as well.
Oh, is
Look
it
at that.
tactile turn?
Tactile turn. The finest writing instrument there is.
Here we are, 27 episodes in. We finally get to say the name because we brought it up back in the beginning, didn't we?
I think day one.
So that wasn't quite that early, but we did get him kind of early. But then he was over in Europe, came back, and I mean, he was trying to take care of business. Now they're at another show, so we don't have the code yet to put into the show notes, but we'll have that next week when they're home from Blade West. But I mean, think about it. Tactile turn. If you're going to do something, do it right. But a great writing instrument with a lifetime warranty.
Made in America.
Made in America. And how many people are going to give it a lifetime warranty?
Nobody anymore.
Nobody. Not
And
a
they're
fan.
actually right now on the website. If you hop on there, you buy one before our discount code. I don't know. I don't know what we could do about it, but they're bringing it back, the aluminums, the original pins that it all started with.
Nice.
Those are on the website right now, so that's pretty neat. And the owner in recovery.
Fantastic.
So I mean, you support a good cause. He's an AA guy, and he's going to be on here pretty soon. He's a friend of Bill.
Nice.
So maybe he listens in the airports too.
I would imagine.
We'll ask
Well, as
him.
much traveling he's been doing, I would hope so.
yeah.
They travel a bunch. So, hey, if you need something for self-care to journal with, grab a tactile turn. And they have every kind of, I mean, they got different flavors.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, you are a new addict to it.
Gosh.
A new addict to it.
Yeah. Got two over there that have not become addicts yet, but they're about to be.
Did you ever get that golf pen?
No,
No,
no.
nope, I still have it.
And I'm waiting.
You're waiting.
I'm waiting.
And just think, whenever he decides he wants it because you can't find it, it's not going to be as cheap as it was.
Yes.
Supply and demand when you pass something up. So,
That's fair. That's
all right,
totally
back to
fair.
the self-care. I just had to give them a plug because
Absolutely.
they're phenomenal.
No, I think, and we've touched a lot on self-care throughout our,
And we always will
Episodes,
until the end of this. Because
Yeah.
without self-care, you will, once again, go back to
For
you.
me, self-care was the most important thing in my recovery. To find like leisure activities that I could do that did not involve my substance,
Golf.
Golf.
which is the biggest one. But I mean, what do you do on a golf course? You drink, you get messed up, and then you shoot terrible. Typically,
Oh, I just shoot terrible anyway, but
it's fine. But but that was one of the things that I needed to find those hobbies. And that was one thing that, to me, that represents life more than any other hobby that I've ever done. It is, especially recovery, because it's, you hit one straight down the fairway. It's on the fairway, and you got 135 yards in. Okay. You duff your second shot, and you go into the sand. And then you get it up, 10 feet from the hole from the sand, and then you make a great putt. All right. You still parred where there's some bad shots in there, of course. But it's about getting knocked down, realizing, okay, this is what I have to do, standing back up, excuse my language, but moving forward. You can't just stop. As long as you're moving forward and you're making progress, it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. But I mean, to me, that's the truth, man. It represents life, and that is my passion now.
So Derek, what is your passion? What's your big go-to?
The gym.
The gym?
Yeah, because just like you said, you got to keep pushing forward. I may not be able to hit that weight, but I'm going to keep pushing until I make that victory. And I do that regularly, and I appreciate that's my self-care good time. If I'm not going to the gym on a regular basis, y'all need to be asking me questions.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't worry, we will. Big perm.
Yeah.
Big perm.
Outdoors, hunting, fishing, going out there and like putting in the food plots and doing the work, and then seeing watching the plants grow. And then you get out there and you're like, oh, I've been seeing this deer or seeing this turkey. And then finally you get to see it right there instead of on a camera.
Seeing the vegetables of his labor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the meats of his labor.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I you know me, I hunt as well, and the work is gratifying when it comes to that. And then you get a good harvest of birds.
Sir, you already had your one.
Well, I'm just saying, but we share that, and it's a beautiful thing, connecting with nature and being out there in silence, and it's just
and I think it's again, we've talked about this a lot, but like I have a standing appointment with you, every Friday, and then having that cigar and enjoying, just talking, whether it be an hour or 2 hours or whatever it is, we always kind of try to carve out that time, and to me, that's uber important for my mental health and emotional health. And
I can't remember the last time it was an hour. Because all of a sudden it's been 2 hours and it's like, where'd the time go?
I know.
It's a beautiful thing, though.
And we only have an hour long or an hour and 20-minute cigar, but yet it's been 2 hours.
Yes. So
cigars are timed by
my
what
bad.
they are.
Yeah.
So
I'll keep that in mind next time I decide not to have one.
yeah. Huh?
Nice. What's yours?
Okay.
What's mine?
Yeah.
Hitting trees with plastic.
Yeah.
I love that time. Hitting trees with plastic is my favorite thing to do. You get in the woods so I go in the woods for a different reason. I throw plastic through them. But yeah, it's just you, God, and whoever's there with you. And it's a good chance to pour into people and for people to pour into you.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. Speaking of throwing plastic, how many baskets are there at the
Work?
place now? Yeah, at work.
3?
Baskets?
I know. I've actually seen at
Chains.
least 5.
No, he might have more.
That's what I'm kind of curious because I talked with them
Disc
about
golf baskets.
Oh, dude, I was like, what are you talking about? 3 to 5. There's one up front. There's one down on the.
There's 2 up front. I mean, there's one right by where you park, and there's one.
Yeah, but they've got
down by the lake. But then now there's one. There's one off to the right of the trail going out, and then there's one back on the other side of the parking spot by the nursing.
I would say
another
upwards.
one.
I would say probably over 5.
Yeah.
Well, you just go mark them, and we'll come out there and play.
Well, I'm gonna actually talk to the CEO about me going to be able to set up the thing so I could take a group out there to play, because that's always been something we use. Like you brought up, we took people out there with us, and it gets to that point when you're out there doing it, man. It's just, you said it's us and God and whoever's with us, and as we're doing it, the people that we're talking to seem to relax and be able to open up to us more. And I think we might be able to pull that off with having a 9-course.
A 9-hole course.
That'd be a cool one-on-one therapy session too.
I think
As
so,
we walk
yeah.
it through
It
and
is a
talk.
blast.
Yeah,
It is.
just
It's a great idea.
yeah, I like that idea.
So that's what we've always used disc golf. Disc golf has been ministry work and really nothing else. It's ministry work. And it's not work, but it's ministry. So I don't want to say work. It's just ministry.
Yeah.
You get to pour into people. Mm-hmm. All the walls come down. Everything else comes down. And they get to be them. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, they just get to be them. You get to be you, and they get to see Christ in and through you.
Mm-hmm.
Take their mind off of the things that are kind of holding them back.
Yep.
It does.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Was that number 4?
That was 4.
Okay.
No, that was 3.
That was 3.
That was 3. Number 4.
Yes, what is it?
Don't bend the rules. The purpose. Oh gosh, let me start over. The purpose of this rule is to remind individuals not to resist or sabotage change by insisting that they do recovery their way.
Yeah.
Whose way?
Their way. A simple test of whether a person is bending the rules is if they look for loopholes in recovery.
What?
A warning sign is when clients ask for professional and consistent professional help. I'm mucking this up. And consistently ignore the advice.
Dictating their treatment. That's.
I'm sorry, man, but dude,
Hey, it goes back.
I've had a couple of them, man, that I've tried to pour out to so much, and they keep asking and keep wanting to come and talk. And the more I pour out to them, the more they seem to just totally ignore everything that I've shared. And it's just like, dude, why are you even asking me if you're not going to listen to what I say in the first place?
That's true.
You know, I'm tired of wasting my breath talking to you. I don't never say that to them because I'm probably not allowed, but
No.
I'm not going to waste my breath on you anymore, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But see, and I would say it. I would say here, and every time I tell you something, you go and do the opposite. So why would I tell you anymore? Well, I'll just tell you the opposite of what I don't want you to do. Maybe you'll go do what I really want you to do.
outside of the gate, I would do that. Inside of the gate, I got to be a little bit more
well, no, I've done that before where
I
it's
have
like,
too, yeah.
what am I going to tell you that I haven't already told you?
right.
So nothing's going to change. You have to change. You know?
So, I mean, bending rules. And I teased you earlier, you know, rules are meant to be broken or at least bent.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to recovery, we can't. I mean, we have to look, there's a reason why it works. And it's not because somebody bent these rules, it's because somebody followed this simple process. And then we like to booger it up.
Yes.
My way's better, though, because I could do this or I could do this.
That's really been going big with that California sober thing. You know, as long as I'm not drinking, I'm not,
Yeah, harm
do
reduction
this.
sucks.
I'm going to
Yeah.
smoke weed instead of drinking.
Yeah, but back to that thing. That no.
Yeah, no.
I think. Well, I mean, honestly, my personal opinion is that harm reduction really is bending the rules of recovery.
Yes. Good call, Derek.
Absolutely.
It's only the opinion of Derek. Well, I mean,
Whatever
it could
y'all
be
just
our
agree to it.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying.
Everybody but Jeremy. So
My biggest thing was I didn't know how to live, so I needed to consult with people that had been where I was and who are not there anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I needed people that have came before me to say, "This is where you effed up. This is what happened to me because I did the same exact thing. I did this, and this, and I've been good. This, and this long. You know,
Follow the rules.
just follow the rules.
Now, if we follow the rules and we do these other things, what does that lead to?
Life change.
The fifth, life change.
Fifth and most important, change your life.
Yeah.
yes,
Change your life.
life change.
Life change.
I like,
We're going to change that a little bit. Life
Most
change.
important
life
rule,
change.
the most important rule of recovery is that a person does not achieve recovery by just not using. Recovery involves creating a new life in which it is easier to not use. When individuals do not change their lives, then all the factors that contributed to their addiction will eventually catch up with them.
Yes. Everything's still there. Everything that you left will still be there.
Yep.
Like, you know, what changes in recovery? Does the world conform to you or do you conform to the world?
Ooh, back to that question.
Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
There you go.
Are we going to make recovery fit the person or the person fit recovery? Which one's going to happen?
I mean, this is one of the big things I like to teach my clients, and that is I'm teaching you guys from what I've learned from somebody that it worked for, who learned from somebody that it worked for, who learned from somebody that it worked for. Mm-hmm. If it's worked all this way up, then what I'm telling you, if you do it, it's probably going to work for you too,
100% of the time.
right? But, you know, of course,
And it's going to fail 100% of the time when they don't follow it.
exactly.
Stop going to
That's
meetings.
your statistics for recovery. It's 100% either way.
It continues, you know. But clients and families often begin recovery by hoping that they don't have to change. This is funny. They often enter treatment saying, quote unquote, "We want our old life back without the using." end quote. I try to help clients understand that wishing for their old life back is like wishing for relapse. Rather than seeing the need for changes as a negative, they are encouraged to see recovery as an opportunity for change. If they make the necessary changes, they can go forward and be happier than they were before. This is the quote-unquote silver lining of having an addiction. It forces people to reevaluate their lives and make changes that non-addicts don't have to make.
I like that, and I'm going to say, because there's an individual that I spoke with, they have been in treatment for 3 times.
That's it?
No, but that's it. Still, it's this year. I'm sorry, this year.
Okay.
3 times
That's
this
better.
year, and the thing was, but my significant other still drinks. Have you asked him to stop? No, I can't do that. Why can't you? Well, it's like,
I've already caused enough damage in the relationship. I've already caused enough problems in the house.
but it's like, dude, ask him to stop. Probably one of the main reasons you keep coming back here is because you're around it 24/7. You're not making no change in your life in order to move forward.
Well, I shouldn't have to do that. I'm not the one with the problem. Yeah, don't worry. I don't even work there, and I've already heard them all.
I didn't even say it was at work. I'm just,
So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Life change. That's what we're all in it for anyway,
Amen.
because something has to be different. Everything
everything, yes.
Everything has to be different
The only thing that needs change,
is everything.
that's it.
And I would say I take out that ending piece about the non-addict because they have work to do too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is about everybody. I sat on the phone with the family last night for almost an hour of somebody that you guys actually have in treatment. And I'm with this family, and we get to pray with them, but we get to explain to them, look, you need help. You may not have been the addict, but you weren't a willing participant in the addiction, but you need to be a willing participant in the recovery because you need help. If they don't get help, there's still going to be a broken relationship when they go home.
Oh, yeah.
So both sides need help. Both sides need to change things in their lives.
It's a family disease.
Amen.
What's your favorite little saying? Addiction.
Addiction isn't a spectator sport.
There you go.
Eventually,
That's
the
right.
entire family gets to play.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
I have actually used it. You know, I think you didn't patent it or nothing.
I
but-
did.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so yeah, we're good.
It's one of those things when you see families that are doing the work, those are typically people that are more successful.
Successful.
Yes.
I look at your family.
I look at your family.
I know. It's a family of recovery now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we're not perfect. It's not the Brady Bunch at all.
No.
But it's like those
Thank goodness.
those
Right.
struggles, we can get through them, you know?
We can talk about them.
Yes.
We can actually discuss
Have conversations.
what is bothering us as opposed to
letting it fester.
shutting that door and walking away from it. You
Or
know?
if you are still in bad habits of doing those things, you have people around you that's going to step into it and call you out on it.
Absolutely, which is what we're going to be talking about next week: accountability versus responsibility.
Next podcast, tune in.
Elements of recovery.
What?
Any closing remarks? Mike, our leader for today, thank you.
Hey,
Great job.
yeah. I think I did okay.
You did all right.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
So.
I'd give you a 5.5 out of 10.
Man, that's pretty strong.
yeah.
I'll take it. First time, I'll take it.
I thought he was going to say like 3 out of 10, but he said 5.5. Dang.
It was a pleasure,
You got to
gentlemen.
have room
give
for
you
growth.
5.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Derek, anything in closing?
Life change, man. I think that's the biggest rule. That's the best rule. You can't just be sober and think everything's going to be okay. There's life change that has to be done. You have to put forth the work to do it.
Amen. Big Perm.
2 Corinthians 4:16 and 17. Therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all.
Amen.
Talk about life change right there.
Yeah. For those that like to hang out with the wrong people, Solomon said, walk with the wise and become wise, but walk with the fools and suffer harm. Enjoy that relapse. Walk with the wise. Hey, good to have you guys. God bless you guys, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.